Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be here talking about the human-driven data economy. I'm a project director at Sitra. Before joining Sitra, I used to work 17 years with SAS Institute. So making sense of data, taking better use of the data sources, siloed data, has always been my passion before joining Sitra. Sitra is quite a unique organization. When Business Finland is focusing on innovations at the public sector, at the private sector and companies, Sitra is focusing on public sector innovations. We are owned by we are a public organization running under the Finnish Parliament, and we were established in 1967. There are very few organizations like Sitra. And now this is a very unique project we are working on, the human-driven data economy. I have a team, about 20 people, trying to create a roadmap, an EU-wide roadmap on how to move the MyData ideology, the ideas, technologies, the scattered technologies into the next level, how to make a concept for making the GDPR Act 20 on data portability being reality and a smooth process for that. So that's basically our project, what it's all about, human-driven data economy. We are trying to, for the next 3 years, we are trying to define and work together with different countries in Europe to define the new model for the data economy, like as an alternative to the US-based model and Chinese model. I know that in California they are already working for their own GDPR, so we think that momentum is very right. Of course, the amount of data is increasing. Our previous project at Sitra was more like focusing on public sector registers and the regulated data. Now we see that this trend of moving from regulated data, opening up governmental data sources to open data, and then with a good consenting layer, combining data from the individuals is the very natural next move. So what we are trying to do in this project is to create a movement, IHAN movement, from going from storing data to sharing data with a human-driven control. Of course, there are some technical challenges. We need to create a way to combine the data IDs to person IDs, create a consenting layer, the identity wallet, and then making that making data transactions logging system so that it will be a transparent way that individuals can see what their data has been used for. And this, we are trying to build the technical standard, a soft standard, how to make those technical components into one concept and how to ensure that it's transparent the way the data is being used for different new services. We think that it's a mandatory thing to solve so that we maintain the trust, and that's also the future direction. There's lots of talk in Finland about the ethics of artificial intelligence and unethical algorithm. What we are thinking that we cannot really control the algorithm, but if it's consented, how the data, what services, what kind of data is used for the services, if it's transparent, then it's a better base for the new services, and that maintains trust. We've been talking with EU Commission, the Strategy Office, and we are starting a green paper together with Lisbon Council to write a kind of draft version about the implications of the human-driven, this GDPR as a enabler for the new kind of data economy. So we are working a lot already with the EU-wide projects. And one of the latest news is that we got approval from Genelec standardization body so that we will launch a workshop standardization process that lasts for 1 year. You're all welcome to that process. You will, by following our website, you will hear more about that process that will last about 1 year. So what we are doing, we are building a foundation for a fair and functioning data economy. Kind of certification system, the same way like we have this fair trade companies or fair trade organizations. Why not have fair data usage labels, fair data labels for different organizations and companies who are acting on common rules? And that's a movement level what we are trying to do at the EU-wide. And I think you could compare the idea to this corporate kind of environmental and sustainability management at the companies. Companies did a lot of greenwashing, saying that they are very environmental friendly. Now it's more or less a mandatory business thing to be environmental friendly. So corporate responsibility, in the same way we think that it should apply to the data usage, and now it's a very good momentum to make that happen. So European level rules, guidelines of the ethical and fair use of data, that's what we are doing in this project. 3 core items. One is the key principles, rules and guidelines for the data exchange platform. We are not creating an own platform. It's more like when we are talking about MyData operators, different organizations working on the data. What we would like to create is a common set of guidelines, framework that these different actors could follow. Of course, we need to have a practical experiments. Sitra has always been a think tank, but also a do tank. So we want to have practical experiments testing if the technology can be combined and used, if the concept can be there, and what are the obstacles for businesses to work on this, or if it's a good business opportunity and we can use the momentum. So all proof of concepts, we now have a funding round. You will find more information on that on our website, and we are looking for different kind of technical pilots. And of course, those pilots could also work together with Genelec standardization work. And branding, this is very much a branding and kind of marketing effort if we can make this happen. It's a very simple idea in the picture, but I know we've been planning for maybe 10 months already, going through different technologies, going through different pilots. We know that there are some technical challenges, but we are sure that we can solve them. And as I said, we have 3.5 years time to do it. We are not caring for what kind of, how the data curation is done, how the data quality is done. We are merely just creating a mechanism, layer for the consenting layer, identity wallet, and then logging by using blockchain what happens with data when you give consent. That's the basic idea. So please go to our website. Sitra's role in this project is also to pool and all the governmental agencies in Finland to work together. As Pekka was explaining, this is on a very high on the agenda in Finland. So I think most of the authorities and ministries are willing to work as a steering group for this project. So what we are trying to do as a Sitra is to gather all public sector organizations in Finland to work for this goal, to work jointly on this project initiative, but also we need to have international companies to come and work together with us in some kind of international advisory board form. And we are talking very actively with the Finnish MyData community and the global MyData community for the good project ideas. So please follow the Sitra IHAN. There you will find more information. Thank you.